Adams Lake Indian Band is looking to replace and consolidate its outdated Indian Reserve No. 4 administration offices and is seeking input from all band members on the building and lot locations. The current administration buildings are spread over 4 buildings which range from 30 to 50 years of age and are near their life expectancy. In addition, it has been identified as high potential that the current buildings and parking lots are located on culturally significant ancestral sites. On June 29, 2016, a general band meeting was held to present the band building and site location options.
And once that is put on the website, we'll also be putting out a survey so then we can get band membership input.
I've been working with First Nations for a quarter of a century now. I'm much older than I look. And we always look for means to develop buildings that have meaning, that are rooted in place, that actually resonate with the community and are drawing their inspiration from something that is particular to that site, that area, and the people. And so when we came to Adams Lake, obviously here close to the mouth of the Thompson River, we all know what the Thompson River is known for, specifically this area. There's a huge salmon migration up here. What we wanted to do is draw some analogies from the salmon and utilize some of that in how the building took shape, whether it was the form of the building or the texture of the building, the color of the building, anything that we could take and adopt from that. The picture at the very top, what you can see, there's a black line across the top of the sheet, which essentially illustrates some of the concepts we developed from a salmon. And so an administration building is really, it's a bunch of offices and meeting rooms and so forth. And so we have to be in a way very practical about how we lay it out. So we have to recognize that it's going to be, in order to be constructible, it has to be fairly straightforward. It has to be essentially in this regard a long box. And so what we did is we created 2 long boxes that would house the offices, and then as a way to sort of provide some dramatic effect to the building, we created the main entrance to the facility, as well as the council chamber and sort of the main lobby, as this fin that sort of comes out. So we're borrowing from the salmon's sort of sinuous curves. What we're doing here is the long boxes you see, that represents the meeting rooms. And so we thought that most of the building would have to be fairly straightforward, otherwise it becomes way too expensive. And then we would limit any sort of curvaceous form language to the main entrance. And so coming out of the main entrance, and this reverts back to the idea of the subterranean shelters that were fairly common. We're suggesting a sod roof, a planted roof over this area, and then a big skylight coming through, essentially letting light down into the council chamber. And then, of course, we thought, well, it gets very hot here, as you know. And so we thought, how do we, in a way, simply create a sun-shading device that can reflect perhaps even the scales of the salmon. And so we looked at perforated metal screens. We just bent them in half. And then we put them on vertical sticks, basically on the south side of the building, that shades the whole building from summer heat. Now, obviously, site-specific built buildings are going to be more expensive, and we recognize that. But we design our buildings to last 50 to 100 years. And when council first essentially retained us to come up with this concept, they wanted an all-wood building. And obviously, that's a big push in our province. But we're also very concerned about not giving you something that's going to require a lot of maintenance. And so we are very conscious of cladding the building in materials that were just really, really simple and really durable. Maintenance becomes a really big issue when you have a big building. Obviously for a house, you end up maybe staining it every 10 years or so, but on a building of this size, you really need to think of that. You want something that's not going to be labor intensive. What this sort of shows you is it sort of shows you the south elevation there. And that's where we wanted to obviously really display, because that would be the main facade you would see as you approach the building. So that we wanted to have the greatest effect, the dramatic effect. So when people are coming to do business, they see a building that is unlike anything else, and it's sort of very specific to this region because it makes obviously some references to the salmon. So that's sort of what led us in that direction. And then go to the next slide. Just trying to figure out which order they're in here. Okay. So on the top there, you can get a sense of what that view would look like overlooking the lake. And of course, the building was oriented so that all the public meeting rooms in the chief's office would be located out towards the lake. So everyone would share in that great view, allowing people to come up. And then at the bottom, at that time, the mandate was to provide not only like a council chamber, but also a lounge where people could come and gather, where you could have informal dining or just get-togethers in the kitchen off to the side. And again, that space was oriented off towards the lake as well, so you have great views. Next one. Again, it sort of shows you an image of what the council chamber could be like. You know, making it high enough where we could borrow natural light, but not direct light down actually on the surface. And then this is an image of the lobby and the reception desk there. And you can see in that lower photo how you would have glass just opening up right across the lake. Next image. And this is looking at the reception desk and even like a glass bay out from the meeting rooms above, and then a staircase up, and this sort of, you could see the council chamber, which we just concealed within this sort of colonnade of wood columns. Again, very open. And here's an image of what it might look like at the on the bottom of Lakeview Road. You know, these long shoe boxes basically coming out, and then we're putting just some corrugated perforated metal on the ends to protect them from the sun again, and also to give them a little more dramatic flair as opposed to just a box, you know, hanging out at the end. And again, we thought we would just put it all on a nice sort of a stone base so that there's a patio out there. So if you ever had functions, you could spill out onto that, overlooking the lake. You have to think about how these spaces might be used and how they could take most advantage of the site. Okay, so the floor plan you can see, this is the orientation of the building here. The intent was that here's the current administration building, and so the intent was to drive through to provide parking here and there, and then this was the one area that we identified that was possibly free of any grave sites, and so that was sort of the reason for locating it at that point. And then because of the slope, it also allowed us to provide easy access into the mechanical room and deliveries and storage straight in off the road into the basement, which actually is very handy. Then above there you can see the floor plans. Two long boxes. They could be even phased depending on how much you wanted to build at once. In that regard, the building is quite easy to extend, elongate, add to, or even subtract from. And then this being the main lobby entrance area council chamber, which becomes more sort of organic, again, referring to more of the sinuous curves of the salmon. If you have any questions, Christopher and I will be at the back there to answer any of those following the rest of the presentations. Okay.
My name is Jason Duplessis. I'm with ADCO Sustainable Communities. We're broken into several different divisions. That's where I fit in under the Sustainable Communities division. We are exclusively dealing with First Nations across Canada. That's all that I do. So that's one of the other advantages you're going to have when you're dealing with us. We've, although the Sustainable Communities side has only been around for approximately 5 years, my management team really believes mutual respect, capacity building, training and development, and participating in the communities. And that's why we're here today. We want to work with the communities to help them with financial planning, training, operations, maintenance. We want to provide employment opportunities. With this building, if we were to move forward with it, I would like to see us hire a community liaison who would work with me, and he would be our contact to deal with any issues or any community issues that may come up over the building process so that we can deal with it effectively. I guess the way we break down our holistic engagement process with community engagement, community development, training and education, architecture and engineering, and turnkey project delivery. I would hope that if we were successful, we did a building together in the Span Administration Office, that going forward, there's obviously going to be more buildings that you guys need. There's going to be more infrastructure, whether it's a commercial development, you guys want to build a gas station, we can help you with that. You guys need housing, we can help you with that. We have a whole process and a whole way that I think fits in with your culture and your community, and we'll make it work. This is one of the things that's important to us. When you deal with us, that's who you're dealing with. We're going to look after the design, the financial planning, the manufacturing, the construction, the community planning. If this is a project you take on your own, there's so many variables and so many different sub-trades that you have to deal with. It can be a little overwhelming. Things can fall through the cracks. And that's why I think ACCO Sustainable Communities, as a single point of contact, can make the process incredibly easy for you. These are basically everything that we offer. Architectural design, structural design, mechanical design, electrical design, civil design, acoustical design, project management, feasibility studies, operations and maintenance. And keep that one in mind, operations and maintenance. A lot of people, when you build a building, as I'm sure some of you know, there's operational considerations and monies that have to be spent over the years. You have to be very aware of that because you have to find the money somewhere. So you have to plan for it and be ready for it, and we can help you with that. One of the keys with us being modular, pre-manufactured components, built to local codes, and the design specifications that we agree on. We have a very experienced workforce, all under one roof. Our components are fully finished, tested, and certified in the plant. They're built to a higher durability standard just because of the fact that we do have to transport them on trucks. So that's going to get us into higher quality and longer lasting building. And one of the other things that we truly believe in is using local labor. We're very interested in doing a community assessment with you and finding out who's available to work, what skills we have. We'll do a skills assessment. In case there's an interest in a sprung type structure, we have a joint venture with Sprung out of Calgary, and it's across Canada. So any First Nation who builds a sprung facility on their land, it comes through us. We've done a few. We're just currently finishing a hockey arena for the Piikani Nation, just south of Calgary. I think that's opening pretty quick. Pretty exciting building. That's on our website. If anybody wants to have a look at that, it's quite a process. Just some of the extras that we have an air cleaning system, which we can incorporate into the building. Is a mold remediation product that will help us stop mold before it happens, because I know it becomes an issue. Again, maintenance and training, we big believers in that. We're going to provide you with a detailed maintenance plan. We're going to provide you with a book so that they can go through. They've got their daily tasks they've got to do, their weekly tasks, their monthly tasks, which is very important to the upkeep of the building. So again, just to recap, holistic engagement process, a turnkey approach. Have a wonderful celebration and give you the keys, and you're going to have a building that operates the way you expect it to. We want to spend the time with you guys so that we understand the community's needs and its values, and we incorporate those into the process. That's very important to us. I guess prefabrication methods for quality and reduced time schedule, reduced weight, operating and maintenance we talked about. You got warranty support of a major national company who's going to be here for certainly well beyond my lifetime and probably most of the people in this room, so we don't have to worry about that. And that's our recently passed founder, Mr. Ron Southern. So I think that's pretty much it for our presentation. But other than that, please, by all means, that's my colleague Dean Seitz. We'll be there. Come over, ask us any questions, talk to us. We'd love to get your input.
Thanks, Sheila. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for allowing us to, I just want to reiterate Sheila's sentiments. I appreciate being allowed to come and speak with you today. Horizon North is I've only been with them a short time, and in the time that I have been there, I found them to be very accommodating in a lot of ways, as I'm sure you guys have in the dealings you've had with them in the past. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is the building that we had proposed to you. This is it here. This is what the outlook would look like. This has 67 offices, 37 cubicles, 6 boardrooms, 5 bathrooms, and a lounge. And inside of that proposal, we had furnished it, completely furnished in there for you as well, from what I'm understanding of it. Actually, if you can see up on the left-hand side, we actually proposed a patio out on the top of that terrace there as well. So you have that option, if that's something of interest to you, we can talk about that. What I would like to point out, actually if you scroll through the next slide. So the entrance, this is just the layout of it. This is the entrance of it, and the layout of the main floor. We are local. For those of you that don't know, we're in Kamloops, so we're pretty local to you. We do source some of the product locally here as much as we can. Briscoe is where we've used our LVL for our stairs and some of the ones going upstairs to the second floor. So we try to source local as much as possible. So that's, you know, and actually, as my colleague said from ATCO, just the nature of modular construction is two things. It's stronger in the fact that we have to transport them down the road. So the way we build them for transport, we've literally flown them in helicopters over above, dangling off the helicopters. So you can never do that with a site-built product. So we really want you to understand that the strength is there, the quality is there, because we have quality control checks that go right through the assembly line. He also talks about mold remediation a little bit as well. And one of the things that you really need to understand is, because it's going through a factory, it doesn't get the climatic weathers that site build does. So we wrap it as soon as it gets to the end of the door. It's all tested and wrapped and then shipped out for transportation. So it's not susceptible to the fluctuations of water, the snow loads, the water, the snow and then absorbing into the wood. So we don't have to deal with those issues as much as site build does. So that's some huge benefits when you're starting to look at your office space. What I would like to say is, can you go to the next one? So up here, the stairwells going up, that's where we talked about putting in a patio for you that could be overlooking the water. This particular building that we built, it's similar to it. We have some brochures back there for you guys to have a look at and take away. It's similar, but it's not the same. We actually won, last year we won, 2015, we won the Best Building Award for the Modular Building Institute for all of North America. And that was out of 14 entries that was selected by our peers for 27,000 square foot or larger buildings. So we're pretty proud of that award. And I would, just going to wrap up here and try and stay at time for you. What I would ask that if anybody would like to tour our facility in Kamloops, we would absolutely love for you to come through. Just get a hold of Sheila or myself and feel free to come and tour the facility, have a look, feel, touch, see what it looks like. And then from there, what we would do is we would really kind of build it to your requirements. We would help you with, we have a complete integrated system, so we have a design team, we have the manufacturing facility, we have the transportation, we own our trucks and trailers that run down the road. We have our own installation crew, so we could take it right from conception to completion for you. And obviously, being partners, we would want to have you have input in that, on all aspects. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for allowing me to be up here.
So the next building proposal that the band received was from Formline, which is First Pac West.
Too bad Pac West couldn't be here. They had the same kind of sprung design as you saw up here from ATCO. So it's like a great big huge dome tent. So the company paid for us to fly over, myself, Mary Ann, Henry Anthony, Howard Nordquist, and Hat Pooley. They toured us on their buildings in Saskatchewan and one in Calgary. We went and spent one night, did like 4 flights in a day and a half, and came back, and unfortunately they don't have the presentation, but they have the same similar design where you can just move anything around you want inside the building, configure it to whatever which way you want. The only thing that was missing would be the natural resources building inside that. So the roof was guaranteed for 25 years, so it's like you can put lights up there and skylights too. Yeah, so they left us information, so if you want the information to look on their website, we can provide that as well. And it's too bad that they're not here to ask questions of, but we can get a hold of them. Thanks, Jeff.
So what we'll move into next is the different building site. So we'll have Iva and Keaton.
An overview of all the sites that we looked at, and was part of the aerial design at the corner of Lakeview and Village. So again, this is a detail of that option 1, and I think since this initial design was done, they've done a ground penetrating radar survey. And I think a lot of the area in purple and even part of this building site has been identified as very highly significant. So there was concern that there would be issues building there. Option 2 is the site that has the existing community hall, or the old community hall, and the language nest, the house. This is basically the existing band, the old band hall, and the language nest, the little square building there. And because it's located beside the health center and the old band hall, there's actually quite a bit of existing parking. So what we felt was that the purple area would be additional parking, but there wouldn't have to be a lot of new development. Option 3 up at the top is basically the area just above the gym here. This is the gym, and up above the main paved parking is actually a graveled parking lot that was done when the gym was built. So in that case, because it's already been readied for parking, it would be fairly easy to make that into new paved parking and then bring water and sewer to it. One issue with this is that this parcel here is actually part of the school lot. There's 5 acres assigned to the school, so if there was a design that encroached on the school land, then there may have to be some makeup lands provided to the school if that option was selected.
Will be by Jerry Andrew. So Gentech Engineering was hired by the band, which was funded by Indian and Northern Affairs Canada, to do a burial site reclamation. So as a part of that project, we did some ground penetrating radar.
How do you identify all the potential sites in this area through the administration area? So we hired a company to basically penetrate the ground with sonar radar, and they came up with potential areas that were disturbed, different from the natural soils and everything. So as you can see on the map there, all the areas in yellow are potentially disturbed sites. There's a lot of areas identified around the existing buildings. Even if you look up there where the natural resource building is, you can see where there's a circle right there, and some of the other equipment there with the school and stuff. So even though it's been a few years, that stuff showed up on the radar there.
So that wraps up the ground penetrating radar presentation by Jerry. The next presentation will also be done by Jerry, and it's the burial site reclamation. So this project is a project that's been underway a couple of years and it's been funded by Indian and Northern Affairs Canada.
The existing buildings, yellow, would be demolished, like the top structures would be removed. The area in pink there would be the asphalt, concrete, all that would be removed and hauled off site. Yeah, so option one would be basically taking the area and filling it with topsoil and seeding it, planting a few trees, building a sidewalk in around there so vehicles don't drive over it or anything like that. Yeah, so option two is basically the same as option one, but adding a asphalt pathway from where all the kids and stuff travel now. Option three is the next drawing, and this is adding quite a few more options to the area. So basically, if you're, option three, there's additional pathways, additional lighting, park benches, and community facilities